Welcome to TheoTrade. Don Kaufman here, August 13th, 2026. It's a Thursday afternoon. There's 25 minutes to go to the cash close, and the S&P is up some 55 handles. There's actually quite a bit to talk about as far as the week goes, but really more specifically today, the right here, right now. First and foremost, let's get right down to it. I'm going to kind of break this down. The advanced decline line is really good. We're actually seeing certain sectors move together, higher correlation than we've seen lately. We're going to learn, okay, that, semiconductors, they appear to be back on top for now. And the last point I'm going to be making here is puts. We're going to look at some put premiums right now. Holy crap, they are cheap on a relative basis. Let's get into all of it here on this TheoTrade evening video. So starting in the S&Ps, they had a nice intraday reversal. They've got a little bit of a bid back. I wouldn't be surprised. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see these S&Ps fade. I keep saying this on some of the nightly videos. Trade's very erratic, disconnected, almost broken feeling. There's no volume up here at all either. Nothing. I mean, this is some of the lowest volume we've seen in a really long time. Today, we're going to outpace previous days. We'll be lucky, though, to do 1 million S&P contracts. Just to give you a quick feel, okay, where we are. The last time, and I'm just here, you know what? Screw it. Let's freeze the screen and actually just draw a quick line. The last time that we saw volume this light, you got to go back to like holidays of last year. No joke. That's how light some of the volume is. It's summer trade, it's this. It has nothing to do with that. There's no hedging activity. There's no drive to the trade right now. There's no hedging activity. It doesn't have to do with summer trade and so forth. I keep mentioning it's why we're seeing erratic, disconnected, kind of broken trade. And again, as I said, I wouldn't be surprised to see us pull back a little bit. We spent quite a bit of time in and around this 7,800 earlier today. All right. Let me back away from that for just a second, because look, you can sit here and you can prognosticate about the S&Ps till you're blue in the face. Nice pop to the upside, hitting an all-time high, but net on the week, we're looking now at the SPX. Where are we? Just about halfway home to the upper edge of the expected move. I mean, I don't mind saying this. I still anticipate a lot of movement into tomorrow, like quite a bit of movement, but this week, okay, in terms of movement, has sucked. I mean, we did absolutely nothing on Monday. On Tuesday, we almost moved down until Wednesday. We moved slightly higher. You realize that this line over here is massively unchanged. Today we're up, but again, as I said, like it doesn't feel like we're going to hold that rally into the close. All right, move past that. Okay, next thing I want to talk about SMH. SMH. There's a bid back under it, and we went from in the semiconductors, okay, a horrendous sell-off in here. Okay, I mean, it's pretty horrendous sell-off. You're in huge correction territory. You got to bid back. That would also constitute, this is what we would call like a technical bull market. I don't buy it for a second. I just want to be clear about that. I don't give a crap what the world says. I don't care, like it's a bull market, it's a bear market. I don't get into any of that. The bid back in here, when I say bid back, the buyback, okay, there's no size behind it, nothing. Okay, we're floating higher. That's again, that's my take. But if the semiconductors actually go back into a little bit of tirade, it is going to pull back the S&Ps to a certain degree. And it's so weird because we had this period of time, you know, last couple of weeks, like software, including Microsoft, was outperforming like semiconductors. Okay, even though semiconductors were up, but again, this bid back seems really, really flimsy. I would be mindful of that. And in fact, the semiconductors are right there, okay, with South Korean markets. South Korean markets obviously were in a horrendous kind of bear market condition, and now they're technically back in bullish. Like it's a new bull market. Yeah, you first. You first. There's no volume behind it. When I say you first, I mean yeah, you go buy that one first. All right, next on the docket over here, the advanced decline line. The advanced decline line is actually quite good throughout the course of the day. And what's weird about it is that certain sectors, like we haven't seen too many days where, for example, the semiconductors are up, okay, but then most of your major tech stocks are up, including, the massive market caps of, NVIDIA or Meta, okay, or, Microsoft. It's really weird. There's all of a sudden, there's a larger amount of correlation. We'll see if it lasts. And you even have the financials up today, which is also fairly shocking. The only thing that's kind of, down a bit on the day is XLE, which is just massively unchanged. But from a sector point of view, okay, even the sectors that are down, nothing's down really of any substance. Maybe just a little bit, the healthcare sector's down, but most of your sectors are actually bid. Okay. We're through that because I'm going to tell you that those sectors, okay, moving together means a lot to me. Higher degree of correlation coming into a Friday, okay, could mean the market's finally going to move much more in unison, if you will. So we talked about a little bit about like SMH is back for now, okay, but again, I don't buy it. Literally, I'm not buying it. In fact, I'm likely to put on some bearish positions in here when I start looking at like expected moves. This kind of does it for me. I wish it would have hit the upper edge of the expected move. If it rallies tomorrow, you better believe I'm going to be in a short position over there. I talked about the advanced decline line, okay, in markets, and very unusual to see this high of correlation in some of the stocks. We just haven't seen that as of late. That and real low volume though in the marketplace. And the last thing, and this one's kind of striking, and this goes twofold. Number one, okay, today, right out of the gate this morning, the S&Ps, they ripped. In fact, let me actually go to the S&P futures. Okay, bell goes off this morning. Forget about PPI. Nobody even cared about PPI. Bell goes off this morning. The market rips higher. I mean, it's on a tear to the upside. While the marketplace was actually going up, did you look over at volatility? Okay, volatility this morning was actually going up with the marketplace going higher. And then the market started coming down and volatility started to drop. Okay, how freaking wild is that? And I don't think a lot of people caught that. We're starting to see really crazy things happen with what we term skew. And this is actually, I built a tool to be able to look at this. So for those of you that are familiar with skew, and skew is actually a symbol, SKEW. Okay, if I pull up like the spiders, type in SPY, okay, that's a real-time version of skew, which means I can look at the skew at any point in the day and tell you, okay, what the skew is. And I can look at 10 delta, right? This is 10 delta calls versus 10 delta puts. And I can see what the differential, okay, in implied volatility is versus the calls versus the puts. And I'm just going to go to say like, look, I can look 120 days out, okay? I can actually change it, look like 90 days out. Like I can actually flip around exactly what it is we're looking at in terms of skew. And people are like, that's kind of crazy. So let's get crazy. So if you're looking at something like SPY, okay, I'll type in SPY over here, and I want to look at 9-day skew, there really isn't any. So what I'm saying to you, for those of you that okay, in a very short duration, a lot of the calls are trading, okay, for premiums basically the same as puts. Like you look way out of the money at 10 delta stuff, the calls and puts are trading for almost the same value, which is crazy. The puts are really cheap right now relative to some of the risk in the marketplace. That's in the short duration, okay? Even 30 days out, there's only a skew of, skew differential of 6 implied volatility points. And, again, how the hell do I use that for my trading? I'll tell you exactly how you use it, okay? There's a couple things you can do. Number one, I wouldn't rush to want to buy calls. I'm going to go like 8 days out, okay? I wouldn't rush into a marketplace to buy calls. If you take a look at the implied volatility, the calls are, the vol skew is basically flat. If you look at the puts, okay, we're basically trading in a situation here, and I'm just showing you next 8 days, where all of these calls, okay, are priced pretty much identically to the puts. But we all know that markets don't necessarily, have equal risk to the upside and the downside. So it's a really interesting kind of facet. I'm actually going to talk specifically about trades on Friday that we can take in this environment. I mean, there's some cool stuff you can do in this environment because this doesn't exist, people, in the spiders. Like this, when I say it doesn't exist, historically speaking, this doesn't exist in the spiders. You can even go like, let's get crazy. Let's go 36 days out. And there's almost no skew. Like, that's at like, 13.4 and this is at, 12.4. There's only 1 point of differential, okay, at near money options. All right. For those of you that have been around a while, you're probably like, holy crap, I did not, necessarily realize that. And again, I keep going back to this because you want to see something even crazier. If you look at stuff like AMD, okay, AMD 30 days out, it's an inverted skew. And the actual skew calculations at 104, which means that the calls are literally trading for more money than puts. There's no chance that we could possibly ever go down. Okay, that's basically what you're saying. And I even go 90 days out. I'm going to go 90 days out. I'm changing this. So going 90 days out, 90-day options. Okay, the calls are still trading for more than the puts. Okay, it's like we don't see risk. Even 120 days out, they don't see risk to the downside at all. And I think that that's going to be incredibly opportunistic. And, you know, I know people get infatuated. Just show me the 618. Yes, screw that. Who cares? Because I'm going to tell you right now, you want to make some real money in this marketplace. Okay, understand that puts right now, okay, dirt cheap relative to calls. Historically speaking, you've not seen this kind of stuff inside of the spiders of the SPX last for more than days. You've also seen the confluence of, you know, implied volatility went up this morning with the market going up. And then when the market sold off, the implied volatility cooled back off. That means the VIX, okay, the VIX is moving, okay, in a positive correlation with the S&Ps. Dogs and cats have finally joined hands and are living together. Oh, there's a lot to think about. A lot of good trades in here. I'll be on tomorrow morning, live on TheoTrade. I'll also do the weekend update, a lot more on this. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in this evening. Have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.